Welcome to Bad Storytellers, a podcast about a small group of writers in Titusville, Florida. I'm Josh, your host, and with me today is Liam Malone,
Saturday,
Max Wessel,
hey guys,
and Doug Banks.
Hello.
We typically start by discussing all the media we've consumed between now and when we last met, and it's been 2 weeks since we last met. And then we move on to our own writing samples, and then we come up with a movie idea and then record the trailer for your listening pleasure. Also, we are now accepting writing submission. So if you have anything that's 10 pages or less that you want us to take a look at and give, our honest criticism about, I know it takes balls to do it or cojones or whatever.
Also, if it's 10.5, it's fine.
Oh, yeah, 10.5 is fine.
You just say it
10
takes
3/4?
guts.
No.
Yeah, it takes
Everybody's got guts.
And please, if you enjoy this podcast, rate and review us on iTunes. It really increases our exposure.
Follow us on YouTube and Twitter,
Yeah,
and Instagram,
we are
and
on
Tumblr.
We are not on Instagram, but we are on Tumblr and Twitter. It just automatically posts to that, so I don't know if we have any followers or not.
We need
I will take over that Twitter account and just quote
You want
ourselves.
Okay.
Might as well.
Yeah, I'll give it to you, man, if you want.
Isn't that what Tumblr is? I don't even know.
I have no idea how Tumblr works.
All I see is things on Facebook. People are like, Tumblr.
I'm like, every time I use Tumblr, I'm like, oh, I like this thing. So is this the person that made this? No, it's a never-ending hole. I have no idea who made what.
You always end up getting triggered somehow.
Yeah.
There is a lot of porn.
To talk about a never-ending hole. Your mother. Okay, we have no retractions.
What?
Yeah, really. I couldn't.
What?
At least none I have yet caught
Let's do
from
better.
last
Let's do
episode.
better, guys.
Dude, we get a party next time. Pizza party.
But it's been 2 weeks, guys.
It's like book it.
What have you consumed that has been written?
All right. I watched a documentary on Elliott Smith called Heaven Adores You, and it was just cool to delve into Steve Smith and how he became Elliott Smith and how he stabbed himself twice in the heart.
Yeesh.
Yeah, wrote a bunch of cool songs, though. That was good.
I know nothing about Elliott Smith.
I know a lot now. It's pretty convenient. I always enjoyed his album, but it was cool to. It's not like it changed the way I view anything, but it was a cool thing to get into. Saw Man from U.N.C.L.E. that I was kind of avoiding. It was a Guy Ritchie movie, and Man from U.N.C.L.E. was actually pretty good. Characters were fine. It didn't floor me, but it was a good spy movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then now the next two are the big heavy hitters. I watched the second season of Daredevil in its entirety, and I started watching Zach Galifianakis' new show called Baskets, and it's
I've never heard of it.
crazy good.
What's the premise?
Zach Galifianakis is two twin brothers. One of them
Is Seth Galifianakis?
it's pretty much that. One of them is like a self-help guru, and the other one is a failed clown, and he becomes a rodeo.
This sounds amazing.
He becomes a rodeo dude. The best part is Louis Anderson is their mother.
No.
What?
It's so.
How do I watch
fucking-
this?
It's on FX.
Oh my
you have the
God.
internet. You have everything.
I just didn't know what's the way I'm supposed to consume it.
It's so good and dry and fun. It's pretty it's produced by Louis C.K.
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, it probably doesn't feel like I remember it, but there's. So I think he recruited people who make comedy like him. It's really good.
It sounds funny. That's a great premise.
And Daredevil season 2, totally awesome.
Oh, I can't wait to start it.
It's totally awesome.
I can't.
It's so good.
What about you, Max?
I have consumed the usual.
Turtle Dove. Let us guess.
No.
Turtle Dove.
Actually, I took a hiatus on Turtle Dove.
Okay.
I started reading Stardust.
Ooh,
And
I just talked to Malachi
the Neil
about that.
Gaiman one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really enjoying it so far.
It's a fairy tale for adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm a big fan of his. I'm listening to... I went to the thrift store.
Just real quick, don't you guys love it that Neil Gaiman made a book called Coraline? It's like, sweet Coraline.
Da da da.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get it till now. You were referencing Neil Diamond. I went to the thrift store and I found a couple Harry Potter books on CD, so I bought them and I've been listening to that in my car, which is cool.
Who
The Stephen
narrates
Fry
it?
ones.
Actually, these are the Jim Dale,
Ooh.
which is good because I already had the Stephen Fry, and Jim Dale does a individual voice for everyone, which is amazing.
I don't know any voice person who reads an audiobook by name except for when it's the author.
Yeah.
There is a shitty battle to the death between people who like Stephen Fry or people who like Jim Dale in the Harry Potter
Over just
recording.
the Harry
Yeah.
Potter one.
I do not care.
I don't care or subscribe. I like them both. I'm a big fan of Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie, but I don't mind Jim Dale. And I tried to watch Agent Carter, but Hulu only has a second season, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't start second season. That's ridiculous.
I've been playing a game called Stardew Valley, which is a more involved Harvest Moon, so which is pretty awesome.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah,
Is it made by the same people who made Harvest Moon?
No, but it's a loving remake. But it's got a lot of crafting and other things you can do in the town. I went hiking.
Oh,
That was fun.
Who wrote that?
No one. It was kind of the opposite of consuming media. Cause,
I would read the book I Went Hiking.
yeah. After
It
20
was
minutes.
called what? 240 hours or something
Oh, My Side of the Mountain?
between a rock and a hard place.
Between Two Ferns? Where
Hatchet,
the red ferns grow?
Hatchet by Gary Paulson. But after 20 minutes, you couldn't hear a single thing, no cars or anything. It was just the wind. So that was kind of the opposite of consuming media.
And then a plane came by.
Where did you go
It was
hiking?
nice. Ocala National Forest.
Oh,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, nice.
Like
Yeah.
Silver Springs area?
Yeah, Alexander Springs. We asked the lady where we start, and she gave us the wrong thing. So we got lost, and we wound up walking down a dirt road for like 3 miles. Apparently that is a state road.
Okay.
Florida has state roads that are dirt. I did not
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them, especially like if you go between Miami and here.
Yeah.
Like it's
Nothing
there's
was
a ton of
marked.
those.
Dude, also anywhere
Okay.
between Jacksonville and Pensacola is just like
Yeah.
nothing.
An 11-mile hike that was supposed to take 8 miles. So that was fun. I had a good time.
I went hiking out with my dog in Tosahatchee,
Mm-hmm.
and he was really excited for the first 10 minutes, and then after that he's like, oh my God, I've never walked this long in my life.
Yeah.
What about you, Doug?
I didn't get a chance to read anything, but I did watch Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, shit, was that good?
If you're a fan of Pee-wee, yeah, you're gonna love it. Cause
Fuck yeah.
it
Awesome.
was.
I'm so happy.
It had the same level of humor, surrealism, like anything you would want in a Pee-wee movie, just on a slightly lower budget. I wish they'd given him all the money to make whatever he wanted, because with the limited budget that they did give him, it was fun and it was accurate, and it's everything a fan could want. So if you're a fan of Pee Wee Herman or Paul Rubens,
Shit.
I highly recommend you check it out.
That's awesome.
I am.
Do you think they'll give him more money now to do another one?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't imagine a fan of Pee Wee Herman watching this movie and being like, "Fuck this," and not being supportive. And if you don't like it, you probably never liked Pee Wee Herman to begin with. So I just
You're not a real fan.
Well, I just can't imagine. I don't know, man. I just couldn't imagine it not doing well among people who like it.
Is Cowboy Curtis in it?
Oh
The fans
no.
must know.
This is in like the movie universe. It doesn't really tie in with the Playhouse
yeah.
show. And in fact, it's even kind of contradicts itself. It's just another adventure. It really doesn't tie into like Big Adventure or anything like that. It's the same exact spirit of it and same tone. But in this version, Pee-wee just lives in this town, and it's like no time has gone by. He's like the same big kid he always was. And without giving away any spoilers, because I don't want to ruin any of the jokes. It's not like, oh, a twist. It's just more of like to explain the plot is explaining half the jokes. But basically, he find out that he's never left his hometown, and he's just like, why? It's so great here. Why would I ever want to leave? And like, Pee-wee, you got to go on like a vacation or something. You got to get out of this town because you're so good. You're so nice. Everybody likes you. You deserve a break. And he's just like, I guess. And then things happen where he like gets this great chance to leave and go on a little adventure, and it goes crazy after that. So
That's cool. I don't think anyone's really looking for a continuity.
I also maintain that Bubble Boy with Jake Gyllenhaal is in fact a Pee Wee Herman movie.
Wow, that's a good
Ooh.
point.
Do you think it
is
might have been
very
written?
much like
Was it written for Pee-wee, do you think?
No,
I don't think so.
But
no,
it-
I mean, Bubble Boy, you couldn't have I don't know, man. Pee-wee is supposed to be like literally a child, but just played by an adult.
Yeah.
Like,
Is he really?
Like everywhere
Oh, yeah.
he goes, they're just like, "Hey, kid," it's so
Oh,
bizarre.
jeez, I never
was
made
a
that
whole
connection.
and in the beginning of Pee Wee's Big Adventure, like he has oversized silverware and stuff, and there's a lot of weird. They do a little weird size stuff when it's just him.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Wow, I never realized that.
In the original stage show,
Yeah,
he would look under girls' skirts with the shoe mirrors and stuff.
yeah. He's supposed to be. It's just an adult male playing the role of a child. But for some reason, in the universe that this takes place in, and for Pee-wee's Big Adventure and everything, children can live alone and be self-sufficient. It's so weird, but it's funny. Once you wrap your mind around that and you know what you're looking at, it's freaking hilarious. I love it.
That's so strange.
Yeah, it's strange, but it's great.
I mean, in a good way.
Did you see anything else?
Let me. I did see Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, you mean Batman v Superman?
Yeah, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
What does the V? What does the V stand for?
Versus?
but versus, but only in a legal context.
I guess.
It's just a lawsuit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean,
What are your thoughts, Doug? I know you posted a video. Well, we'll link to the Nerdy Show video of your opinion of you and Cap
where I
going over
literally
it, but I do.
had left the theater. We sat down and we recorded a video of our initial reactions.
Did you cry?
When you see the video, you'll hear like my first thoughts as we left the theater. My opinion of it has only gone down since then.
Whoa!
Okay. Just right off the top of your head, should we go see it?
Did you like Man of Steel?
Didn't see it.
Then don't see
I
it.
haven't seen it. I haven't seen it either.
Don't care for Superman.
Then don't see it. It's that simple. Like it's if you saw Man of Steel and you're like, well, I enjoyed it. It had some flaws, but I enjoyed it. I'd say then go see it because you'll probably like it because it's basically the exact same film.
You
if
said
you're
it
like,
was
I
better
didn't
than
like Man of Steel, then I'm like, then don't
right?
see this.
Aquaman is my favorite superhero.
Then you will be highly disappointed.
I have a couple of questions for you that are pretty important.
Go ahead.
And one of them is a minor spoiler.
I will try to avoid spoiling, but go ahead.
How was Affleck?
He was Batman.
Was it good?
He made all the haters pull the foot out of their mouth because Ben Affleck showed them all. To me, he's the best part of the movie.
I never doubted that. I thought he was.
Yeah, I always thought that was a weird criticism. Like, Batfleck, and it's like, wait, isn't he?
They
This
recently
is the guy who started his career with dual fisting Oscars, right?
And another thing that just happened is they announced that after the dismal showing of Batman v Superman, they pulled their current Batman plans, and they might let Ben Affleck direct it. And a bunch of people are like, "Whoa, why would we possibly let Ben Affleck
The
direct
guy who just won Best Picture. Didn't win Best Director. To be fair, he didn't win it.
Did you watch Argo or The Town?
So good.
Or what was the other one?
Gone Girl?
Baby. Yeah, Gone Girl.
No.
Those
Gone
are-
Girl was David Fincher. He started.
Gone Baby Gone
was directed by him. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have him backwards.
He doesn't have anything under 94% on Rotten Tomatoes that he's directed.
No,
other than
Ben
his
Affleck's-
first student film, which I did watch, and it's called "I Killed My Lesbian Wife, Hung Her from a Meat Hook," and all I got was a 3-picture deal with Disney.
Real? That's
And
the name of the movie?
It's a 16-minute joke on Hollywood. It's amazing.
But anyway, Ben Affleck was great. The writing could have been better, but that's not his fault. But given with what they gave him, yeah, man, he was Batman in every sense of the word. And people,
You mean he was in every sense of the word? He was actually part bat?
well, the character of Batman, not a literal man bat.
And
So you're saying in the fight between Batman and Superman, the audience lost?
all right, and I
Yes. The audience lost, but Ben Affleck deserves the apologies of everyone who shit on him. Here's the thing. Everyone who's going to see this movie is excited for it is a comic book fan. Every comic book fan knows how the fight's going to end before it even begins. They're not. No one's going to kill each other. Superman's not going to die. Batman's not going to die. They're going to stop halfway through the fight when one of them's got the upper hand, and they're going to be like, "Oh wait, we were pitted against each other by the real
We
bad
should
guy,
work
Lex Luthor."
together because
And then
we
they
face a common enemy.
And then they got to work together, and then they save the day. Everybody knows this. So as soon as the fight starts, I'm already half asleep because I know what's going to happen. Like it would just the fight itself, action-wise, was okay. It was fine. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was just by the numbers, and the way Batman tries to fight Superman by like sort of luring him into traps was, I mean, it was fine. It was okay, but
Yeah.
I don't want this to be a whole podcast about me telling you why that movie stinks. But
Would the movie have been better if they fucked?
probably would have been about the same.
Okay.
Because they're all up in their business.
he's like,
during the
actually,
fight.
they did fuck. So your question is a trick
invalid.
question.
Yeah.
As for me, I didn't really consume a whole lot. I watched a lot of X-Files with my significant other, and
With your paramour.
it's
So you mean
it's
to tell
unbelievable. It's unbelievable how good X-Files gets in like the last third of the first season.
Yeah.
Like it starts off and it's like, oh, that was a good episode. That was a stinker. That was a good one. And then it's like, whoa, the budget went way up in this show. And near the end of the first season, I wonder if that had to do with the show's initial success.
Yeah, wait till you get to like season 3 and 4.
I mean, I watched it when I was a kid. I got to the episode I remembered most from when I was a kid, which was Darkness Falls, where it's the tree mites get out when the logging company. It's good, man. That could be a horror movie on its own. It doesn't even have to be an X-Files episode, but it was good, and the acting was good, and the writing was good. Just good, man. I'm happy about it. Watch more Deep Space Nine. I haven't decided what new book to read. I'm gonna let you guys pick what new book I'm gonna read. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I already picked. I'm gonna read The Postman.
Oh, okay.
I love that book.
I know you do, and I just realized it's written by David Brin. That's the guy who wrote the Uplift books I was talking about. Yeah, about the chimps and stuff and the dolphins.
You're gonna read
Same guy.
Waterworld on land.
Hey, Doug.
Yes. Yeah, he did what? There's 5 Uplift books, I said, or 6. I think there's 6 books.
And he screwed us with only one postman.
Out of context.
He screwed us.
This is amazing.
So let's move on to our own writing, guys.
Let's fucking do it.
Our own shitty writing that we're bad at.
Yeah.
Boo. Us.
Max, why don't you tell us what you brought in this week?
Okay, I brought in one of my things where I just write down and I write story to give myself information about a guy who's fighting pirates. He is a pirate fighter.
Oh.
So it's...
Can it be called Pirate Fighter?
In both senses. If he's also a pirate, it works on 2 levels.
So it is kind of based on the Florida Rangers, who were Western Georgians and Floridians who fought for the crown in the Revolutionary War.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I came up with the idea of a guy he's a noble for an empire. He's a viscount, he's a captain, and he's out on patrol. And then he gets back home, and shit's fucked up. There's a revolution going on. So he grabs as many people as he can onto his boat and brings them south, and wacky shit's gonna go on, where he's gonna meet pirates. But I based it on because I thought it was an interesting idea of you're just living your life and everything you know, and all of a sudden people come up to you and they're like, no, we got a revolution, we're gonna throw all that shit off. And they're like, but that shit's not that bad.
Yeah.
So, he's a noble, and all of a sudden he's gonna have all these rustic ass pirates and stuff, and he's gonna be like, we gotta save the empire. And they're gonna be like, why? Because it's awesome.
They're
like,
your boss. They're your employer.
Yeah. But the way I have it, they have wooden ships. The government controls military technology very tightly. The guns in here are all 4-inch naval guns from about World War I.
Okay.
So they have ships with motors and everything. All the military ships have motors.
Oh, and they're on sales.
Everything else is on sale.
Interesting.
So when you see a motor ship, you know that if you see an airplane or something, you know that's military. That's strictly controlled military.
The whole thing is one big fight.
Yes.
From start to finish, and talks about how they sneak in and stuff like that. I didn't get a lot about the world from the description.
Yeah.
Only in that the names of things were different than the names of things here. But I think it's fine. It reminds me of Master and Commander, without all of the terminology.
Yeah. I don't want to go into terminology because I think that keeps people away from Master and Commander.
Yeah. You pretty much have to buy 2 books.
Yeah, that's why I enjoyed the Horatio Nelson series that much more.
Is that the Horatio Hornblower?
Horatio Hornblower. Yeah, sorry, not Nelson.
Okay.
So terminology, I think that is something I will look into as just trying to put flesh on the world.
Don't go all Moby Dick with it, but just...
Yeah, definitely. But I think I'm really trying to get is more the characters, like you guys say,
And you can invent a bunch of slang anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm working on mainly is going to be like being in the character's head, which I don't do enough of when things happening.
I'm still torn on being in the character's head or not, on many things. I know I'm doing it with Malcolm, but he's the only character, so I don't know how I feel about it in general.
Who's your protagonist in this?
It's going to be Charles Sinclair.
Because that sucks. I want the Marine.
You want the Marine?
Oh my God, his part was better.
Should I do a multiple?
You can, or you can make it from the Marine's perspective, and he's watching all this happen. And he's like, oh shit.
That would be cool. I never thought of that.
And it could be about Captain Sinclair, like fucking Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's Ishmael. It's the story of Captain Ahab, but Ishmael's the narrator.
He does not need to be the main character. He doesn't even need to survive.
He is the main actor, but he doesn't have to be the...
But he doesn't have to be.
He doesn't have
that
to be
lieutenant
the
could do the same thing that Charles Sinclair could do.
Only he could instead follow... the captain can still exist in the story the same exact way. It's just that you're following the Marine.
I can even do it as like dispatches and shit.
Because, at some point, he's going to be... If he's a captain of a ship does a lot of stuff, but it's not like they do a whole lot of grunt work. They do a lot of yelling at people and knowing stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. I never thought of that.
I also the character of the Marine I know and like now.
For something like this, too, I'd like more context, especially if you're doing an info dump.
Yeah.
Because even for your sake, because it helps you kind of harken back to the different ways this world is different than ours.
Yeah.
But... I liked it. It's just there's not a lot to talk about because it feels so out of context. For me,
I agree with you.
I'm surprised Liam liked the Marine so much because to me the Marine didn't he did a cool thing, but I don't even know what he looks like. So he was a suit to me. He was a generic suit, but because to me that was the point that we talked about the captain, his perspective on things, and so if you want to change the perspective, then yeah, that's great. But Max didn't even give the Marine a name, so I just from the get go, I'm just like, all right, this is a Marine. I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't latch onto it as much as Liam did. But
he felt like more of a character still, where like Sinclair was like gruff and got hit and didn't want to be seen, and then talked for one conversation with the surgeon, where the Marine was like, here's what we did. I reward the scouts for doing this. I have opinions on the pirates.
I mean, I guess that's a good point. It's just because he didn't even have a name, I didn't even think about it, and he was recapping a story that I already just saw. So I just didn't think of it in that way. But hey, it's still cool. I like the world. I like the setup. I would like to see where else the story's going to go.
Cool. Me too.
What do you think about starting in an action scene?
You're starting in the middle of something, which is good.
I like that. But if you do that, you really have to like hit pause a lot.
Yeah.
To be like, and he did this, and you kind of, well, not so much pause, but you have to zoom in on specific things that give more context during the fight.
Cool.
So like if somebody wears a different color coat, that's you just zoom in on that for a second and be like, and he wore this blue coat and it looked like this and it had this and this and this, and then you
and
cut
there were
back.
stripes on it.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how I like this. Yeah.
I had a hard time picturing if this was in the real world or a fantasy world because you never really described their uniforms or anything like that. And I'm not saying you need to, but my default for this was basically Pirates of the Caribbean. I was picturing them in red coats because they were like working for the Royal Navy.
Yeah.
And
cool.
going on. So, but I mean, if it's not our world and it is a different world entirely, tell me a different color just to make it obvious. Like even blue would be like, so are they French? But if you're like, oh, this is a stupid suggestion, but it's like if they were wearing
I like it.
Green or yellow or something, it'd be like, oh, this is definitely not whatever. And the hints that it was not our world was like the blue shells and like the red blossoming explosions and stuff. I'm like, okay, this feels like it could be a fantasy world, which I totally was into. So
yeah, like was it the sail apple?
Yeah.
Like I thought that was really cool. So I mean, more of that. It doesn't have to be
This is
crazy
me trying
fantasy.
to make my own Dieselpunk.
Okay.
To where it's like
Sailpunk?
Yeah.
If you went into a little more on the uniforms, I think, and just describing the cannons and the way,
weapons
and maybe even the sound, it would totally fit in Dieselpunk.
Yeah, that's cool. This is me sitting down writing like, what is my world going to be? I want to get, because I love World War II naval weaponry.
Right.
And I really want to get into that. Sail apple is something I made up because I thought that would be a good idea.
I like it.
So you were aiming for a World War II style.
World War I weapons on like 1700 ships.
Because that was
like
the image I was
1700s.
getting. I was picturing like with the sails and everything, but yet you had these slightly more modern cannons, which
I'll describe it because the ship is going to not have sails because their military ships have motors. So I'll definitely get into that. I like the idea of explaining more the weapons and uniforms and everything. That's why I like doing this podcast, because I write and then I'm like, okay,
done with that.
Yep.
What about you, Liam? What'd you bring in?
I brought in. I've still been doing a lot of Goblin PI outlining, but I keep.
This feels like world building.
Yeah, that was just world building. I keep the Goblin PI. I changed pretty big because I decided to start at the end. I was trying to find the voice, and I was doing a lot of like voicing exercises and just like writing a paragraph with the same amount of information in it, but just going like grittier, and I wasn't having a lot of fun with that. And I did it for about an hour and a half, and then I was like just felt burnt out. So then I just threw up a thing to clear my head.
Okay.
And I actually ended up kind of liking the idea.
I liked it a lot.
I liked it too. It felt it had its own voice. Oh, sorry, but you didn't describe what it was.
Where the idea came out is in Norse literature, these things called kennings, and kennings are generally another name for something that's just combining the two parts of what it is. Where like a sword will be called a wound hoe or something.
Okay.
And I think it's a really clever trick of language that we don't really use that much. And I just was like, I want to use a bunch of those. And so I was just typing away and it got hearth brother. And I was like, what the fuck is a hearth brother then? Someone who's a child roughly your same age who you share a hearth with. And then I named them the fox and the ox. And then they just kept going.
Yeah, I liked it.
It's just about two kids heading down into their winter home to be protected from the elements. And it's their winter birthday. And they're going to become men.
There wasn't a lot of information, but I got the world. you explained enough about the world that I completely saw them in that world.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
they're children. They don't know everything about the world.
Yeah.
Which is also...
But
they're
I mean,
going to find out some stuff about the
Yeah.
world, too.
but like they have a summer home and they have a winter home. That makes total
Yeah,
sense.
and they have to beat the caravan because it's cool to stay in front of it. But this is a thing. I get the feeling it's something that their group just does all the time.
No, every year.
Yeah.
Twice a
So
year.
yeah, I dug it.
Yeah.
Interesting world
cool.
setup.
One of my problems is, do you know how not many words there are for winter?
in English.
In English,
Yeah.
you could just use the word for winter from every other language.
Yeah, that's what I have to start doing because I was like, this is the 6th time I've used the word winter.
Yeah.
And I started getting really angry.
Then again, like you said, with slang, just start making your own. Because how many words for winter would they have?
Sun hiding season or something.
Exactly.
the low sun season.
But they would have
Yeah.
They would probably have a term for winter like every
version of it.
Like every 5 days would be
Yeah.
a new. Oh well, it's this time. It's not that time yet. Luckily.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of notes except for I'd like to see it. I mean, if you want
I need to change the names of the characters
Fox and Ox,
because I've decided that I was sitting in the car with Malachi yesterday driving to Orlando and we were reading. He got this old book of like 1930s fairy tales. At least that's when the book was published. But they're obviously more they're more modern than Grimm stuff. They're pretty self-aware and funny. And one of the stories, they have actual names for characters, so when they talk in dialogue, they use their actual names, but the author only refers to them by a weird nickname, and I want to do that, where like the Fox and the Ox aren't called
names.
the Fox and the Ox by anyone else yet.
Okay.
And I want that to be a thing.
Could that
But
be
I
like,
want better names. Like Clovis and Bart are not great.
I think those are fine.
Yeah, I actually thought those names were fine, and when we started to refer to them as the Fox and the Ox, I thought, God damn it, is this Liam trolling me again by trying to make me think that the ox is talking in the caravan behind me? But I quickly
You know
realized
that he
that's
never
their
once
nickname.
has tried to troll you.
Yeah.
No, I know
Never
he
once.
hasn't, but I've like because it's been like a running gag now where I have to misinterpret something that Liam wrote when he was trying to be metaphorical, and I have to take it as fact. But no, I quickly understood what you were really doing, and,
Yeah.
and it was cool. But yeah, I think their actual names were cool. They felt fantasy and different enough to me. Fox and Ox is almost too boring to me. Like, I mean, it works, but it's just. I think those are the names that you can improve upon, make those more unique to their world. And
Well, I'm doing a lot of playing with fantasy stuff, and one
Right.
of the things that happens in Japanese and Indian fantasy stuff is you get a new name when you do something cool,
right.
and they just stop referring to you as that thing from before. So they're the Fox and the Ox. There'll be 7 different things
Like
by
the
the end.
stone.
Of
Yeah, and I got that they were like, what do you think your new name's going to be? The wide or the tall, or you're comparing it to these other people, and that was really cool. I'm looking forward to what their names are going to turn into. But if you continue to call them Fox and Ox, like I think that's a cool way to take it.
Yeah.
Where do you see them going?
Right now, they're going to go to Winter Home. They're going to become men. That is going to be shocking and terrifying for them in a way they didn't expect. And then I know part of it is the whole Winter Home community is super communist because they have to get all their food together.
They're a commune, yeah.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
they
I
have
kind
to
of
do
picked
that
that
to
up
survive.
with the.
So the idea of being assigned a job and then abandoning your post for any reason is bad, like socially completely unacceptable. So I think I want the fox to get captured doing something, and then the ox is like, I'm gonna go after him, and they're like, if you do, you this is no longer your home. You cannot come back.
And then it's an adventure from that point forward.
And then it's an adventure from that point
Okay.
forward. And the whole thing is building up to the idea of like,
Well, I was reading it, I was thinking, man, this would be a good place for the Knights of the Round Table story you've got.
to
Like,
go to.
Yeah, for them to...
That would be hilarious.
Meet the Hatter. So he's gonna leave this world. So is it gonna be like a fantasy world? Is it gonna be?
No, he
Straight.
leaves that subcontinent that's protected from the rest of the world.
What do you think he's gonna find?
Middle Eastern people, probably more like Persia. If Persia and Japan became one thing, I think that'd be fun.
delicious
So the
food.
Gobi Desert.
Kind of, only those were just straight up nomads. Like this is an empire.
Ah, gotcha.
What about you, Doug?
Because life has been so crazy, I didn't make any progress on my script, so I didn't bring in anything.
And we're okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Makes it easy.
Doug's life has been bananas these past couple weeks.
You get a break
on top
from
of
spitting hot
moving
fire.
and then work changing and everything else. Yeah, it's been crazy. But I do. every week I plan to bring in more next time, so I'll just try and make that much more progress if I can. But
awesome, man.
We will see.
I think we all agree that we would rather let it grow organically than push it.
Well, the problem is unless I take the time to sit down and write it, it won't grow.
I think at a certain point, like if you have an idea and you're like, oh, I need to work at it, that's one thing. But if you're like, yeah, I'll just let it grow organically. No, man. You got to force it. Like you got to sit down and write it. As for me, I brought in the beginning of chapter 4 of Malcolm Hat, and it's basically Malcolm gets released from the village. And I ended it. This example ends before I get to what this chapter is about, but I'm going to talk about that after I get some feedback from you guys.
All right.
Do you want to explain what happened?
Yeah. Basically, a fox, Wilvix, takes Malcolm out of Kilvin's home, takes him out to the front village, and he's like, "Hey, guess what? You're free." And they give him like a little bag, and they're like, "Goodbye." And Malcolm's like, "What are you talking about? Like, I'm going to starve. You can't just leave me here. This is it doesn't make any sense." And they're like, "Yeah, well, you know what? You found your way here. You'll find your way back. Goodbye." Mm-hmm. And Malcolm starts wandering through the forest, finds a spear, and enjoys the fact that he has a spear, and then is looking for the stream that supplies water into Ilbanok, their village. And when he finds it, decides he's going to follow the stream.
I liked it. There was a definite feeling of being pulled out of a shell.
Yeah, I think the actual exit could have been a little bit slower, but the moment where he finds the spear and he just kind of like, this is how it works in my head, and I feel a little bit stronger, like all those people I saw. And that was, I don't know, I think that was a really good moment with Malcolm.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure what to do with that, but I'm like, oh, if I found one and I was 12, how would that feel?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, his exit being slower, that's a good idea. It like start pointing out things in the village and things he's learned.
Yeah. Connect him more to the things so it matters more when he leaves.
Originally, I had it be Kilvin, who I went back and edited it and changed it to be Hapro to lead him out of the village. And the reason I did that is because all right, the point of this chapter is that Malcolm's set free. And the real reason is that they want to see where he's going to go. So they're just tracking him through the forest. This was your guys' idea as well. And I want it to be Kilvin who reveals that he's, rescued him and stuff. But I want Malcolm to get in some very real danger. That Kilvin's like, what are you doing? Why would you do this? And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, how would I know that there is these kind of monsters,
You're talking like he finds a ghost squid or something?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking... that's one of the things. I'm not sure what I want him to find. I was thinking something along the lines of like something that would
owl bear,
something that would use a spear, and I'm thinking like maybe some kind of monkey that's not quite on the level of the Wilvix, but close, and
a Neanderthal monkey,
or like a baboon kind of creature, or I even thought a spider because that's scary, but that's overdone, right?
Yeah,
but it is scary.
I could see like Kilvin and
Lemurs.
Another guy going out, and the other guy's
that's
like,
too much like a fox.
Looks spooky.
Yeah.
Baboons are scary. I like the baboon idea, like a freaky baboon.
Baboons.
Although that's what happened in After Earth.
Insane.
Baboon?
Yeah, a bunch of baboons chased him.
But like another Wilvix.
I can't copy that masterpiece. Everybody will know.
Everyone saw that.
I didn't.
If another Wilvix comes out with him, and he's like, "Oh, he's a genius. He's leading us away from wherever he is." And he just is a kid who's just like swinging his spear, has no idea where he's going.
That could be good.
He's so crafty.
Well, I don't want to cut away from him.
Yeah.
That's my goal for this book is not to cut away from Malcolm. Everything should be through his
okay,
lens,
cool.
And
then
kind of like Black Swan.
And there's more of a reveal then when they go and pick him up.
Pick him up. Yeah.
I don't want it to be obvious to kill him. Like he was against this from the start. He's like, this kid doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything. I'm like, yeah, right. And he was overruled. And he's like, fine, yeah, sure, as long as I can be the one that follows him, or one of the ones that follow him. So you guys think some kind of monkey, like a chimp or a bamboo?
It's fun.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that feels different enough.
At least a mammal.
Something similar to that.
Yeah,
a mammal.
And
what's another smart mammal that would have
raccoon,
orangutan,
something that's not as much
Fox-like?
like a Wilvix.
Something odd, something not tree bound either.
Just
rat.
What about like 40 capuchin monkeys?
Rhesus monkeys.
Yeah.
Brownies from Willow.
There's just a bunch of them.
Pumas.
I stole the baby.
I was gonna say the signal that he's like screwing up is from his point of view. He has to see something and be like, "Oh, this could be good." Like he says, "Oh, like I see a cave up ahead." And it looks like it's kind of like lived in, so he's going to go into the cave, and he's inside the cave.
A bear?
Like,
How about
like a bear
bears?
or whatever.
Yeah, bears.
And then he gets like rescued. Like, holy shit! Why did you? you never go into an open cave like that. And he's like, what are you talking about? I just thought there'd be whatever. Like, don't you mean to tell me that you never seen one of those before? Like, everybody knows.
Nobody's ever warned you about the cave bears?
Yeah.
Exactly. I can just see him like standing up bravely to the bear with his spear, and the bear just cuts the spear in half, and he's like, fuck.
I don't think he'd stand up bravely to the bear.
No.
I think he would.
He's running.
I think I think is that the goal of him having the spear is that he feels brave.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he sees something that can hurt him, it's not even that he becomes a coward, but he just forgets that he was ever brave to begin with. It's just that's not like
because he
a
couldn't
spear.
even
A
use
spear
the
is just
he doesn't even know how to use
a spear is
it.
just something that's in his hand that's keeping him from running faster. You know, like there's the. But yeah, that's what I wanted to try. What'd you guys think of I tried to make it so it wasn't jumping all over the place with his thoughts, but there's just a lot of separate thoughts.
Yeah, like the tree in the middle of the village.
That was a cool story.
Mm-hmm.
That was a real cool story.
But how does he know? Is that something
He's
we're
been
getting
taught.
Yeah, that's something that
he knows.
The way it's introduced is that he says Kilvin he saw the stump, and then he was reminded, and Kilvin had told him this, and that's
Okay,
how it was framed. So I'm doing a lot of the world building.
I just feel like if they thought he was a spy, would they show him the whole mechanism of the defense of their village? Or would they have a back door?
They're just walking him through the gate. They're not showing him like how they defend themselves.
But like the camouflage guard and everything like that, like if they're so secretive, would they show a spy how to get into their village?
If they're tricking the spy into making him believe...
The whole thing is an act that they're letting him go, and they're really not letting him go.
My thought was that they figure that no matter what he knows, they're going to see who's coming to get the information before he does.
Okay, cool.
And if he thinks that they're not watching, he's going to act differently. He'll immediately head back the way he came and start, acting a certain way. And, he does know all these things. But no, he's an incompetent kid. And when he gets back to the village, Kilvin's mad at everybody else, but he doesn't have to stay in the cell anymore. Because I feel like him having to stay in the cell is...
One, boring. It hamstrings the story.
Yeah. But it also doesn't, Kilvin would just be pissed off all the time.
Yeah. and two, Kilvin is finally like, I was right, I get a thing.
Yeah, it's like, no, you guys just he'll stay with me, I'll keep him under watch. I'm clearly the only person here capable of doing that anyway.
You're all idiots.
Yeah. But that's what I had.
Cool. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Were there any other concerns you had about it?
Not yet. I think before the chapter's over, I'm probably going to finish it by next week. Probably with a little extra, and I'll definitely want feedback then to see if I went far enough with it.
You won't have.
I'll never have.
I think you guys felt he went pretty far enough with his outline, so I'm pretty sure the finished product will go far enough.
I am happy to see narrative and not outline.
Well, it's been narrative this past few episodes.
Yeah, no, I'm speaking generally.
Well,
the more time I'm spending with Malcolm, the more I like him.
I'm glad.
I was really worried about that.
I feel like for me, writing it, he's starting to feel like a more real person as I'm writing it. Mm-hmm. Like in my head, he's becoming more real.
Yeah, I would say so, because the reader's spending more time with the character too, so it's not like you know everything about him in the first chapter. You have to learn things as he learns things, and his reaction informs me on what he's really like. So, yeah, the more stuff you throw his way, the more I learn about him.
All right, now is the time for the bad story trailers part of the podcast, where we roll the dice, get 3 genres, use those genres to construct a film idea, and then record the trailer. So, Liam, what's our first genre?
70.
Saga. So,
Saga edition?
The sagas from Icelandic saga, plural, sogur, or is it sauger? I don't know what that means. Are stories about ancient Scandinavian and Germanic history, about early Viking voyages, about migration to Iceland, and of feuds between Icelandic families. Tales are usually realistic, except legendary sagas, sagas of saints, sagas of bishops, and translated or recomposed romances. They are sometimes romanticized and fantastic, but always dealing with human beings one can understand. Have you guys read any of the sagas?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. I read Egil's Saga, Saga the Volsungs, Njál's Saga, which is Saga of Brennu Njál. That one's definitely the best. I have a lot to say about sagas, but we need 2 more genres.
Yeah, let's see what they combine into.
7.
70 and 7. Adventure, general. An adventure story is about a protagonist who journeys to epic or distant places to accomplish something. It can have many other genre elements included within it because it is a very open genre.
It's a dud, Josh. Great job.
Let's see what the third one is.
I didn't roll it.
Yeah, but you put it in the thing.
I just copied them from Wikipedia. 85.
Anime.
Dieselpunk.
Fuck yes.
Dieselpunk
A
Saga?
Dieselpunk Saga sounds awesome.
Dieselpunk Vikings?
Initially proposed as a genre by the creators of the role-playing game Children of the Sun, Dieselpunk refers to the fiction inspired by mid-century pulp stories based on the aesthetics of the interbellum period through World War II. All right.
Yeah.
I think we're good, right?
Yeah.
So let's just think of a saga and then flavor it as Dieselpunk.
What if the
Right.
What if the Norse gods were just Dieselpunk?
No.
Who got sent
That's
back
not
in
what
time?
sagas are about.
Yeah, what is it? The Eddas are more
Yeah.
about the Norse gods. The sagas are just about the dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Although the Norse gods show up like in the Volsungs and kill people, but not in Njaal's saga. Okay.
I don't want to do the Family Feud
What's that,
stuff.
Doug?
Is there some kind of war happening, perhaps? Like Dieselpunk is kind of World War One-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, a World War I saga. So let's just set it in World War I and then we'll fictionalize it from
Well,
there.
Okay.
it's not World War One. It's that interbellum. It's between
Right,
the wars.
right.
So more 1930.
Okay.
So you have jets. It's not jets, but like prop planes that actually have metal sheeting instead of fabric. And that
Well,
kind
they're
of
usually about, I mean, in my experience, the sagas are usually about feuds, whether it's between two specific families or one man and everybody else, like Egil's saga.
I like the family idea.
I don't, because that makes less sense in a nation.
No, if it's a royal family.
Yeah, if it's fictitious.
But the whole thing is that's already after the age of most of the fallen empires.
What if it's a small empire?
The Mouse Who Roared. Have you never seen that Peter Sellers movie?
No.
A small, tiny country goes to war with the United States so they could lose and then get financial assistance.
That sounds awesome.
And instead they win.
The Mouse Who Roared?
Yeah, they capture a ship that has a nuclear bomb on it and then they hold the world ransom for forever. And they're like, they become the strongest nuclear power. And they're like, all right, no more war. If you ever go to war, we're going to destroy everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
All right,
pretty good.
I need to see that movie.
It's a really weird movie.
And it's Peter Sellers, so.
What's a tiny nation that kept their royalty after World War I?
Belgium, right?
Belgium.
Oh,
Topical.
are we fictionalizing this though?
Well, we can, but we think of analogs.
If
like
it's a saga though, just
Denmark and Sweden,
yeah.
they have Norway.
Yeah.
They have their. I don't know about Norway, but I know Denmark and Sweden have their royal families.
I don't think Norway does anymore. But maybe it's just they wouldn't be political figures; they'd be something else.
Well, I think the thing that Dieselpunk in World War One is that new technology was being invented like at a rapid pace. So if this was like a simple blood feud between two royal families that has just gone on
could spiral
for
out of
100
control.
years, it finally gets to the maybe it started.
It sounds like World War I.
No, yeah, it does. But I'm saying like on a slightly smaller scale, where it's just sort of these two nations. Like if there's a blood feud that goes back, just say 100 years, almost like the what the hell is the two American families?
All we need
What
really
is it? The Hatfields and McCoys.
Yeah.
Like, what if the Hatfields and McCoys like owned so much land they were royal families? And
That's basically Njaal's saga.
Yeah, that's how.
Is it?
That's how that goes.
Yeah, it's like the Hatfields and the McCoys, except for it ends up being carried. Like basically, all of them kill each other, and then its blood feuds are still being carried on by the people who have sworn to avenge them. Like it lasts like 200 years. Why don't we just think of an adventure story set in that kind of universe, and then we'll add the saga elements later? Because there only have to be a couple.
It's just an adventurer person who stumbles into a saga sort of deal.
Yeah.
Or it could even be escaping a blood feud. Could be reason enough.
Yeah.
Taking his adventure elsewhere.
How about somebody who used to be a member of the royal family, who gets a member of a royal family that was the bad guy who escapes, but ends up becoming a reluctant hero and saving people.
Okay,
And
good.
he escapes in an airplane.
Okay.
Or a submarine.
Or
A
dirigible.
Warhawk.
Okay, so we have a protagonist.
Yes.
He was a member of a royal family, and they were the bad guys. Maybe he was like a prince or whatever, and he was like a little shit.
Uh-huh.
But he was, I don't know, he was like an evil little puke, and he was like 16 years old. gets dethroned. Nobody knows who he is. Lives on the streets. Is homeless or whatever. But based on the things that he learned while a little royal kid, is able to know like law and stuff, and stop somebody, like a cop from beating somebody, and then that person's like, hey, you're pretty great, and then I don't know, saves other people because he knows like a bunch of secrets,
or even just courtly procedure.
I'm thinking it's
those
not
class
adventure enough.
distinctions.
It's almost like if you have the
You're
kid
right.
of the let's say the family is like the real pricks,
to leave.
and he is just the young up and coming one day future king, but he's not as dickish as the rest of his family, so he's just like, well, you guys are doing your blood feud. I'm going to go off and figure out who I am and go on an adventure. And he goes on like a crazy ass adventure helping people. But by the time he comes back, the blood feud is like 1,000,000 times worse, and it's World War I out there. So it's whatever experiences he had along the way, he's going to have to use to come back and stop this place from blowing itself up.
So we could start with this guy coming back on like a steamboat,
Yeah.
and being like,
And then telling a story.
came back from Africa or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually,
No, just like this is how it starts, and he comes back from Africa, and he's like, "What happened?" It's like, "Oh, your dad's been killed, and it did this." And he comes back, and he realizes that in that time that he's been gone, he's grown up a lot, and his
Yeah.
parents are assholes,
Yeah.
and like everybody hates him, and like,
but the whole thing is he can't stop World War One.
He's
Well,
going to
I mean,
try.
And I'm not saying like he can't, because it's reality, but like it's a better story if he doesn't.
well, are we dealing with World War One, like for real?
Yeah.
We can't. That's way too confusing. If it's actually literally World War One, it just needs to be that equivalent. It's a fantasy. We're doing a saga. We're doing a weird
Sagas
Icelandic saga story inspired with Dieselpunk, which sure as shit ain't real. With adventure. So this is
And some of the sagas had a lot of things to do with prophecy and ghosts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You never, I mean, well, you saw them in the Saga of the Volsungs, and you saw dragons and stuff like that.
Dude, you can have it where this dude, the kid who leaves and he's touring the whole world and he's becoming a badass, all in his family's good name, and then he gets visited by a ghost of his dead dad, and he's like, I gotta go home. I had a weird dream that my dad was killed, and then he goes home and it's like, oh, you must have seen your father's ghost. It's like a prophecy. You've come back to help lead in a battle. And he's like, oh shit, we're the baddies.
He kicks ass. Yeah.
No, but that wasn't any of my point. It's that if he stops the war, it's not a Dieselpunk movie. Like part of the thing about Dieselpunk
is war.
And also that the modern world doesn't give a shit about an individual anymore.
Well, the war
Right.
could be in full swing, like when he left.
He comes back to the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his parents maybe, and then he realizes his family's on the wrong side.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He starts an uprising within his own country to try to end
Russia.
the
Lenin.
fictional countries. So he tries to stop the uprising within.
Populist uprising that ends with the slaughter of
I
the
will
entire
finish
royal
the
family.
sentence if it kills you. He starts an uprising in his own country to get them to ally with the people who are the good guys. Maybe. And now he's got a bunch of crazy old stories about the stuff he did where he saw ghosts and spirits and stuff, but you would never see them in the movie.
Mm-hmm. That could be cool.
Yeah. Or if he just like
I swam up the Nile.
his brother's like, we must kill all these people, and he just murders his brother.
It'd be
He's
cool
like,
too
"No,
if he had
you're
somebody if he had somebody to save.
Well, if
if he has,
let's say he has if he comes back and the royal family, his father's dead, and it passed down to let's say his older brother, and his older brother is a huge asshole, and he's actually the dictator and making everything bad for everybody. He can't he can't kill his own brother, but he can secretly start the revolution on the inside. He's actually the guy who's trying to take it down from the inside before the other countries take him down.
Well, it's not.
Then
as much
that's
of a
a
saga
thriller
if it's
and not an adventure.
Well, no, it's not. I think he needs to actually get out and do stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Well, I was thinking it might be more interesting if he has somebody to save. So, if he has a little sister that maybe is not old enough to know what's going on, she just believes everything her older brother says, but she really looks up to this brother.
Right.
And he's like, I got to get her out of here because people are going to come kill her because they think that she's involved with this. She needs to not grow up like this.
Yeah.
And he needs to find some way to get her out.
He has to smuggle out the royal princess, who is his sister, but he's this worldly traveled adventuring badass. So
and that way he
knows how to do it.
He can keep telling her stories of the crazy shit he's seen worldwide.
To explain why their family is bad.
And he knows a bunch of morality tales. His stories are a bunch of morality tales about how he changed. He was the little shit or whatever. Like his older brother, they were two peas in a pod, and then he had to go because he's not the heir. I don't know.
It's
That could
like
work.
it's like
I like
it's
it.
like
That sounds
The Fall meets Secondhand Lions in a Dieselpunk World War One setting.
Right. Except like it's more like Secondhand Lions because it's true. It's not a lie.
Right.
Like in The Fall.
I've never seen The Fall.
It's good. It's a good movie.
Wait,
Or what do we call it?
Legends of the Fall?
Diesel Saga.
What's his name?
Yeah, like
Well,
you
it
scoff
could
at
be like a
Diesel Saga, but
Nordic.
the last one was
It could be
called
like a
Gaslight
Nordic
Fantasy.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a Nordic country like Denmark, but not be Denmark, right? So like some fictional one.
Yeah, because Mark just means like forest.
Yeah, you could have a since it is a saga, you could have a Norse-esque name.
That's what I mean, like
The
saga,
Danelands.
the saga of whatever, Prince, the saga of Prince.
Danish
Unless
names.
it starts with him like drunk in an African street. He's like, I'm the goddamn prince.
Arvin.
Sounds good to me.
What about his?
Right.
What about his sister?
You're the man with the list of names. And he needs an older brother, too. Although you could just call him the new king.
Ria.
Rhea and Arvi?
Ria and Arvin.
Ardvin.
Yeah. Okay. So
Can the older brother be Snorri?
yeah, it'll be Skallagrim.
Yes.
Grimskull. All right, yeah, so what do we call it? Diesel Saga. What about like Canon Saga?
I like that.
Something like that. So it's not specifically saying Dieselpunk, but it is a saga.
Yeah.
That you said canon as in like literally like kaboom cannon.
Yeah.
Make it work.
What's another diesel thing? Engines or Dieselpunk thing. Like you wouldn't say plane.
No, I like canon better.
Only because, that actually, it sounds like a joke on itself, right? The canon of a saga.
Panzer Saga.
Panzer Saga.
No.
It's armored.
Yeah.
Canon Saga?
Canon Saga.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, we'll do it. Okay, Canon Saga. That's our movie.
Brother, what was Bartland like before the war?
Oh, it was the most beautiful place on earth. There used to be a steeple in the center of the capital, so tall you could see it from anywhere in the country.
That's impossible.
No, it's true. In fact, when you were born, Mother had the beacon at the top lit for a whole week.
What was Mother like?
Oh, she was beautiful, Rhea. Like you. And kind. It's hard to believe King Axel came from her as well.
In a world of royalty, war is a family affair.
Ghosts? Sea monsters? Dragons? Why do you fill her head with such lies, Odvin? Mother wouldn't have wanted that.
They aren't lies, brother. Still, better lies than the truth of things around here now that Father's gone.
Tread lightly, Odvin. While you are off gallivanting, you missed the truth of what kings really are. Our father included.
But one prince wanted something better for his family.
Brother, I'm hungry. Will I really get to meet a wizard?
I swear it.
Is there any more chocolate?
Sweet sister, when we get to the coast of Nebakar, you will have more chocolate than you've ever dreamed. Can you wait just a little longer?
I'll try my best.
Follow the epic tale of a desperate family at war with itself and the world in Canon Saga.
Thank you all for joining us for this episode of Bad Storytellers. I'd like to thank my writing group, Doug Banks, Leah Malone, and Max Wessel. All of our writing that we discussed today can be found on our website, badstorytellers.com, along with the show notes. And for any questions, suggestions, or cynical critiques of our work, please contact us at badstorytellers@gmail.com. Also, if you dig the show, please leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us gain visibility among the other writing podcasts. But again, I've been your host, Joshua LaForge, and I'd like to invite you to join us again next week on Bad Storytellers.